Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem with us now live from the North Lawn of the White House. And thank you for your time, Madam Secretary.
Yes,
good morning to you. What more can you add from this incident last night?
Well, our agents were out doing what they're doing every single day across this country, as they were doing targeted enforcement, going after individuals that are breaking federal law. When this individual drove away, crashed his car, tried to run into a home, and as they were wrestling on the ground trying to detain this individual, two other men came out of that building and started attacking him with weapons and shovels and brooms. And as it was 3-on-1, the agent feared for his life and defensively had to take action. But this kind of violence is perpetuated by what we hear the governor saying, what we hear the mayor in Minneapolis saying, and their irresponsibility is extremely reckless. Governor Walz has my phone number. I have called him and talked to him and said, listen, you let your city burn down in 2020. Don't do it again. President Trump wants to keep everybody safe. We're enforcing federal law. We're protecting every single American. Work with us. I want to remind you that Minneapolis itself, under the mayor's leadership and the governor's leadership, released almost 500 criminals out onto the streets rather than bring them to justice and turn them over to federal authorities. So they know they're releasing murderers and rapists and drug traffickers on the streets of Minneapolis. We're out there making sure they don't harm American citizens, and we're getting attacked while we do it. But we're going to continue to do our work and do what's right, because it's what President Trump promised the American people.
When was the last time you called the governor, Governor Walz?
Oh, I talked to him just a couple of days ago.
And what did he say when you told him to chill out?
I said, Tim and I served together in Congress. We both ran for governor at the same time. We have very different ways of governing. Our state in South Dakota was extremely successful and grew economically and safety. He drove it into the ditch. And it has been an absolute disaster. He let it burn down in 2020 and then asked surrounding governors to send our National Guard to help him because he waited too long to make any decisions to bring peace. I'm worried that he's doing the same thing.
I understand that history, but when you approached him on the phone and made your appeal, what did he say?
I said, sir, listen, Tim, you know the situation, what's going on. We are enforcing federal law. If you don't like the laws, go change them, but don't do it by giving place to these protesters and rioters that are perpetuating violence. And I said, you have my personal cell phone. You call me. If you need me, you call me. We will be there to help back you up, but protect your city, protect your state. And he paused for a few seconds, and he just said, yeah, okay. We have very different viewpoints of what's going on. I said, maybe we do, but we will be here if you need us, because that's our goal every day, is to keep people safe.
So yesterday, he's encouraging people to keep a record on video with their phone. All right, here's part of that now. Listen.
You are not powerless. You are not helpless, and you are certainly not alone. All across Minnesota, people are learning about opportunities, not just to resist, but to help people who are in danger. Carry your phone with you at all times. And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. Help us create a database of the atrocities against Minnesotans, not just to establish a record for posterity, but to bank evidence for future prosecution.
Well, you're welcome to answer that, but he's had a tough run politically in the last couple of years now, and some are suggesting that maybe it helps him or his party with the chaos. Do you think that there's some truth to that?
Oh, it's detracting from the fact that for years he's had the greatest fraud in American history happening right under his nose, and he didn't just allow it to happen. We believe, from all indications, that he was complicit in it, that he knew all about this Somalian fraud that was happening, stealing from government programs and taking dollars away from the most vulnerable individuals in this country and putting it in their pockets to make them rich. So he had this fraud going on for many years. He'd love to change the conversation, trying to demonize our ICE officers. But we're not going to. We are there. We're doubling down in Minneapolis to get to the bottom of this fraud, to make sure we bring perpetrators to justice, and to make sure that we're doing the right thing and bringing safety to the streets.
So I take your answer to be a yes. Is that right? That you believe the chaos does help him and or his party?
Absolutely, because if you look at the mainstream press, they're helping him. They're misportraying the situation on the ground. We had an officer last night viciously attacked with weapons, 3-on-1, where his life was in danger, and he defended himself. And you see a lot of news reports out there that it was another ICE shooting. They didn't report anything about the weapons or the fact that these individuals came out of a home to beat him mercilessly with a shovel, and that he had to protect his own life and his colleagues that were soon coming to back him up. So absolutely, I think that this is a distraction for him. We're not going to let that happen. We're going to continue to talk about the fraud and the stealing from the American taxpayers that he has allowed to have happen in Minneapolis. It is the largest fraudulent scheme in American history, we believe. It's in Minnesota. We're going to get to the bottom of it and bring people to justice, even the elected officials that allowed it to happen.
Two more things quickly. I don't have much of time. The mayor yesterday was warning people not to take the bait. That was his words, right? We cannot counter Donald Trump's chaos with our own brand of chaos. Do you sense that he's backing away from his tougher language perhaps a week ago?
It's better than it was a week ago, but he's got a long ways to go. He needs to start working with our law enforcement officers. We could go get these criminals off the streets with their partnership and do it in a safe manner with less agents if he told everybody to go home and said it was no longer acceptable. The violent rioters that we're seeing on the streets today are there because of the mayor and how he's spoken. He needs to make sure that he's working with us, with his law enforcement officers, to make sure we're arresting the dangerous ones and sending the rest of them home.
Last point, the president's threatening the Insurrection Act. Just a quick definition for our viewers. Authorizes the president to deploy military forces inside the U.S. to suppress rebellion or domestic violence or to enforce law in a certain situation. How serious is that threat right now? Will that happen, Madam Secretary?
You know, I spoke to the president this morning about several different things, but we did discuss that. And that certainly is within the president's constitutional authority to use that if he thinks he needs to keep people safe. What I love about this president is the very first question that he asks me is, how are you doing and how are our people doing in this country? How are the people doing and our law enforcement officers? What can we do to keep them safe, but to also make sure we're bringing dangerous criminals to justice?
Well, there's a lot of work to be done based on what we're seeing in Minnesota, and who knows what comes next. Thank you for your time.
That's right.
Plenty to get to, and we will again next time. Kristi, Noem, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, Dana.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.